Enugu community decries incessant kidnapping of villagers by herdsmen. The people of Agu Amade community in Aha Amofo town in Incessant council area of Enugu state has cried out over incessant kidnapping of their kingsmen by suspected Fulani herdsmen. The assailant struck the community last week and kidnapped 7 villagers, including a woman and two teenage boys. They were reported to have killed one of the victims, said to be a commercial motorcyclist, and collected some ransom before setting their captives free after 3 days in captivity. Speaking with journalists after a 2-day emergency meeting by members of the community, the National Vice President, Agu Amade Development Union, Mr. Ogenyi Donatus, said the community had been seriously troubled by the incessant kidnappings of their kingsmen by Fulani militia masquerading as Fulani herdsmen. Ogenyi said that since January this year, no fewer than 11 people of the community had been kidnapped by the Fulani herdsmen, with the people of the community contributing to pay ransom for the freedom of their kingsmen. He said since the activities of the Fulani herdsmen started here, our people can no longer sleep with their 2 eyes closed. We have been living in panic. We returned home after hearing what's happening and resolved to provide solution for these incessant kidnappings of our people. Our people are in distress. That is why we are happy that you journalists came to hear from us. We cannot sleep in our place again. The worst is that we cannot go to our farms anymore. Our people are majorly farmers. It has been a terrible experience for us. That is the way we live here in this community. Majority of our people settle in the farms and return home once in a while, and a few others live in the village centers. That farm settlement is where the Fulani people are rearing their farms. On a personal note, the only sister that I have told me that the Fulani herdsmen came to their community last 2 weeks and were going from house to house and taking food, water, and anything that is good for them. She is a widow and had no capacity to stop them. So what some of our people do is to simply allow them to do whatever they want, but they will still go ahead to unleash their cattle on our people's farms. And no one will complain because the men go about with sophisticated weapons. We are in an area where government don't hear the problems of the people. He further stated another problems we have is that we don't have access to network providers in our farms. That is why anytime the Fulani herdsmen come around, they will operate for hours without restraints and go anytime they want without anyone challenging them. Some of our people living in the village center here can access network, but once you cross to the farmland, you are cut off from the network because it's kilometer away. That is why it is very easy for the herdsmen to go there and perpetrate any evil unchallenged. Few weeks ago, they came to one of the farm settlement at Opokfu, and a man that had attempted to challenge them, they chopped off his right hand with cutlass. They equally kidnapped one of the farmers there and released him few days later after our people contributed to pay his ransom. The worst of the experience is that while perpetrating this act, they will still go to the shop around that place and drink themselves to stupor for hours without anyone challenging them. That is because there is no network to call anyone for them for help. This latest case where they kidnapped 7 persons from here is not the first time they have come here to kidnap our people. In January, they kidnapped the treasurer of our town union, Nick Ugu, and it took the contribution of our people to pay his ransom for him to regain his freedom. Why this kidnapping is becoming rampant like this is because of the bad road we have here. That is the Eha Emufu Ikem Obolo Afo Road. Since the current dispensation in 1999, no governor has come to our aid. It was the current governor, Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi, that started the construction of the road, but we want them to hasten the construction of the road so that we know how to avoid the kidnappers, since security operatives has decided not to hacken to our cause each time there is a crisis like this. The road is so bad that even if you are with a motorcycle, you must stop and push it to pass. Same things without a motorcycle. If you are with a car, you must slow down very well before passing through that place. That is the period the Fulani herdsmen strike and kidnap people because they are hiding in the bushes. On whether the community has reported to the police, Ogenyi recalled that in the recent case, we called the divisional police officer of Isu Uzo, but his phone rang severally without him answering the calls. So far, about 11 people, including youths and a woman, have been kidnapped here by the Fulani herdsmen. And the most painful part is that the family of the victim cannot afford the ransom placed on their heads. It takes the contribution from the members of the community to pay the ransom and get our people their freedom. Ladies and gentlemen, only God will settle Nigeria. If not, I don't think there's any man that will be able to bring Nigeria together. Do you think when you hear people shouting for separation, the people does not know what they are doing? They know what they are doing. So kidnappings, molesting, raping gunmen has become the order of the day in Nigeria. Look at these people suffering from this situation. Nobody have heard them. No government has got to that place. No journalists. They are just suffering there. So we are seizing this opportunity to speak to the federal government, the state government in Enugu, in the said village. Please, let's deploy policemen there to stop the activities of these Fulani herdsmen. They are there, even as we are talking now, they are there operating. Please deploy your men to go to that place. Those people, they are there, they are human. They are passing through, what they cannot explain.